we're going through school to say, okay, on to the LCS stage, let's go. And I'm excited to see how these players grow over time. And you know, if Stixxay can reinvent himself, because he had that LCS title, right? He had that MSI finals, and then it felt downhill for a while from him, and he was part of the CLG slumping down and down and down and getting more disappointing, and now he gets to reinvent and say, look, I'm on the roster. We're all going to show up. We're all going to rise up and get good again. And he gets to go ahead and battle TSM. I mean, he beat them like once his entire CLG career, right? So, you know, what better than to double it here on Golden Guardians as the picks and bans start?
Yeah, and I think sometimes a change in environment can really do something great for you, right? You know, if you've been kind of stuck in a rut, as Stixxay has been with CLG for quite a long time, you know, even just that change in environment really can do you good, right? You know, maybe he can have that resurgence. He is obviously the kind of like lone veteran force here on this team, you know, as far as the LCS is concerned, and we'll see if he can impart some wisdom onto some of these younger players, if they can, you know, really start to improve throughout the course of the split, because to me, that is the benchmark for success for Golden Guardians, is getting better throughout the split, seeing improvement from these young players, because if Golden Guardians can find, you know, one or two young players that are from NA that they can build around for the future, you know, hey, maybe in a year or two, you import players around them, and all of a sudden you're pushing for a championship.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe it turns out that, you know, Niles is the next Licorice and Iconic is the next Blabber, and we're just going to keep naming C9 players. I mean, Stixxay won the LCS in his first split, replaced Doublelift, and still won a title. Like, these players, you know, I mean, I want to say, like, we have seen players pop off instantly. I want to kind of go back and, like, think about World Champions. Like, how many times was there a player who won Worlds in his first year? Like, Jackie Love won in his very first year. Like, you've got all the Donwon guys who, like, showed up for semifinals the one year, then win it, like, the next. Like, this kind of stuff can happen. You can pop off early on, but let's focus
Golden Guardians are going to win Worlds. You heard it here first.
Golden Guardians are going to win Worlds here, from collegiate world champions to world champions. It's basically the same level of play. Talia locked in for Iconic, played Graves yesterday, gets to play another high impact, high farm, high damage champion. I think Talia is maybe all around the strongest jungler, just based on the world we're in with League, where most good top laners are carry AD champions like Renekton and Camille. Gonna see that Spica gets the Kayn hover. I love that. His very first LCS game was tragic. I think we'll say trash on Kayn, but gonna go ahead and just give him the hover. We know he's gonna play Nidalee, and he'll pick something else soon.
Yep. I do like that he is throwing that hover up there. And as you said, you know, these two champions combine very well with a lot of the meta top laners. You know, Renekton is already banned out, so they go to Camille. I would love to see Huni pull out a Jax here. I think that Jax Nidalee can fight very effectively against Camille as well as Talia. The 1v1 is favorable to Jax. You outscale the Camille in that side lane. It is obviously less of like a reliable engage, but that's really the only big advantage that Camille kind of has in there. Gnar is what Huni played yesterday and did not have a good time on it. You know, this is perhaps the safer option, but a lot of people feel that Camille can actually win this 1v1. If you can get all-ins on the Gnar in mini Gnar, there is the potential to actually punish this pick. That being said, if you are not playing aggressively in that top lane, or if you were put on the back foot, these melee versus range matchups become incredibly difficult very, very quickly. If you're under your turret, getting poked away at by the Gnar, you know, losing turret plates, you can fall behind in a hurry. So we'll see how Iconic and Niles can really kind of pair up to try to punish Huni if he is pushing.
Yeah, and I will say this doesn't feel like a super hard counter overall. I know he played it yesterday as well. Solo Q win rate puts it as very, very slightly Gnar favored, but like under 1%. And hey, you can take your grain of salt with that data. Pro play is obviously different, but you know, it's not like you're taking Sylas into Malphite where it's just the most free matchup of all time. It's like, well, you're slightly favored, but I would say like Niles, to me, I think his most iconic champion is Camille here. Like, this is one that I've seen him really pop off on, and he plays a lot of, so that's exciting. Also seeing Golden Guardians to take the early Galio means they're clearly going for that hard engage style. Talia can get in there, the Camille Galio's going to get in there. It's another very aggressive composition with, you know, a lot of kind of global pressure. We saw that TF was already banned, but Blaze Olive himself can just play the Galio. It's one of his champions, and he can just play at the global.
Yeah, you could play that mid lane. You can also play that support. I think that is also completely fine. We've been seeing a fair bit of Galio support in some of the other pro regions. A couple of those marksman bans coming over towards Stixxay. He did play the Kai'Sa yesterday, which was already banned out. So Kai'Sa, MF, Samira all taken off the table. Jhin already grabbed up there for a loss. So really putting out a lot of priority on getting what should be a winning bot lane here for TSM. People very excited about Sword Art coming over here, seeing what he can do fresh off the World Championship Finals. Is this player, and we'll see what he's going to be going for as his pick, because it is going to be last pick for Sword Art. So it does feel like, yes, you can use your last pick support to try to round out your composition, but generally when you do that, you want to try to pick for the winning 2v2, and I think that in combination with the fact that they already have multiple marksman bans feels like they're going to try to go for a winning 2v2 and try to bully Newbie and 6A.
Looking forward there. I mean, Jin, yeah, you're going to have a hard time finding a lane strong enough to handle him, but Stixxay going to go back to his tried and true Kalista. He's had some great performances on the champion. We've seen some from other AD carriers in the last year here as well. We get to find out if Galio is his support. I think Galio Kalista works quite well together. You throw him in, he gets an extra engage tool, and it means you can move your mid lane to something else. I thought he might have just played Galio based on the style of play he had before. And Seraphine, also an option. I think she's a good mid and support, so that still leaves the question in the air. Now I gotta go for Thresh. Galio does go mid. I was right after all. I just kept rambling until he locked something in. Kalista Thresh, a very, very good lane as well. That is a lane can stand up to Jin. Maybe a Morgana for Sword Art, we'll see though, but Galio mid does mean a lot of damage and global pressure across the squad.
Yeah, and Galio mid is going to have a lot easier time linking up with the Camille, especially in the earlier stages of the game, than a support Galio would. And I think that's largely why they're going for this pick. This kind of guaranteed engage combo of Galio ultimate on top of the Camille ultimate. You're locked into that Hextech ultimatum. It's also very powerful in the side lane. If Huni is exhausted, if you come out of Mega Gnar and you're stuck in that Mini Gnar form, you can all in on that for sure. Talia's ulting in behind you. You get ulted in by Camille. Galio comes in on top. You are very squishy in that Mini Gnar form, and you can get burst down. So we'll see how well they can play around it. If Power of Evil can kind of try to keep a Blaze Olive locked in his lane, if Spica can be around behind Huni to try to protect him from those sorts of all-ins, because it does feel like they're going to be playing heavily through that. And the last pick, Alistar here, this does feel more like it's for the team fight and just having kind of some guaranteed ball delivery here and engage rather than for the lane, because I do expect a Thresh who is playing, on the Tournament Realms and who is on point to be able to flay out a lot of those Alistar engages in the 2v2. Of course, there is the potential for Q Flash and these sorts of shenanigans, but it's not the most reliable as far as what I thought they were going to do, going for a winning 2v2, which maybe you would have gone towards like a Morgana or something like that to try to answer the Thresh and win the lane.
Yeah, I think your point about it being more for team fights is really accurate, because my mind immediately went to headbutt when Camille dives onto a Jhin or someone, or an Orianna. It's like, okay, if you headbutt the Camille out, that breaks the ultimatum, right? Nothing else. QSS won't do it. Zonas won't do it unless you immune the actual spell itself. If you kick her out, then it ends, and that's how you can let your teammates flash to safety or find some way to get away from Galio overall. So that seems like what it's about, and we are on to there for this one. Golden Guardians started off LCS Lock-In with a win over Counter Logic Gaming. Actually, just CLG, their official name. TSM, also, by the way, not Team SoloMid anymore, just TSM. They are on the red side. They lost 100 Thieves, but that's one of the very strongest teams in North America. You can give them a small pass, as it is early on for the roster. Wards over the top. Golden Guardians going to spot themselves on a ward. And there's always no one's nearby. They're not going to get stopped or scuffed or anything, but good of, I believe, Huni, or actually it was most likely to be Spica, who dropped the ward and came back for a sweeper.
Yeah, just some early defensive vision there, and because they spotted them out, we can see that Lost is actually invading to get a ward down of his own. Very defensive start, actually, from TSM. You could see they had an early lane ward in bot lane, seeing if they were stacking there. They had the Tri-Brush ward, so I don't know if this is just kind of scouting out what Golden Guardians has been doing in scrims or something like that, but it felt like TSM was very much expecting the potential level 1 invade here. Of course, Talia has a very powerful level 1, maybe something to do with just the champions that they had picked, but TSM ready for it. They do spot it out and stop that, so we'll see where they want to take us from here, as Lost is going to be starting in lane, doesn't have to leash because Spica is starting up on that top side on the red buff. And it is going to give them the early push here and the earlier level 2 very likely.
Yep. One small thing to point out as well in mid lane is the fact that a Blaze Olive shared that ward ward XP across 4 players. I believe a 4-way share is still enough for a solo lane to get level 2 off the first wave. So that might give him a little bit of pressure against Power of Evil. Sharing across 5, I believe, does not give you enough, so it's kind of important Niles wasn't there, or if someone else could have hidden away. Regardless, though, top lane, early push going in. Grasp can be tough for Camille into ranged champions. In that, Gnar is that for 80% of the game, so, unless you're going to burn your hook shot just to harass, you're not going to get much out of that Keystone. This actually could have been an Omnistone option, to be honest. I think this is one of the matchups where you could maybe get use out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw, what was it Bin at Worlds, where we saw something like the Omni Stone Ignite TP style, try to answer against some of these range matchups. You can do that sort of style. Of course, this may just be a comfort thing, not being used to that. But generally, yeah, you don't see Grasp as much against the range matchups. People used to do Comet. That is less common now. But I do see more things like PTA oftentimes, or even Conqueror against these types of matchups, because it often ends up being more about the all-in than kind of the back and forth poke, where Grasp is going to be most effective, stacking up the bonus HP from that and just being able to get these small trades.
Grasp used once, of course, had the shield, so blocks the turret shot, but still takes 3 hits back from Huni, and that trade went about equal. So Wave gets shoved in. Talia is top side. We know Spica's on the other side of the map, so theoretically a chance for a dive, as Icon is going to take down Scuttle Crab and does the fairly standard Talia clear, which is skip Wolves, do everything else. Start bottom, go to top. That's going to work pretty well, but ultimately just going to end up grabbing Wolves afterwards and doesn't go for any kind of plays topside.
And you can see that TSM was actually pinging right on that Scuttle Crab as Iconic was doing it. So having a very good idea of where he would be, of where they expect him to be. And it's always really nice when you have a jungler who is very competent at tracking this, or perhaps it was someone else doing it. But largely it is the jungler calling out where they expect him to be based on the timings, based on knowing the speed of clear for those champions, and having accurate tracking is going to make it a lot more safe for Huni. But nice for Niles, because he did get to fully push in and reset the wave. He's going to be able to recall without actually having to expend the teleport. So grabbing a second Doran's item here, plus the refillable, has the Doran shield now, plus the blade, will be able to withstand a lot of this kind of range harass that could come through here from Huni. And we'll see if he's going to be able to get control in this lane.
Yeah, Huni himself able to stack up a bunch of extra health. Mininar has, I think, the literal lowest base health in the game, at least by high levels. He's eventually got less than Yuumi as that scaling kicks off. But early game, he's still fairly frail. Grasp gets to kind of supplement that a bit, because the flat 3 health per trigger is actually pretty meaningful at that point. It's a substantial amount of your tankiness. So Huni's going to stay alive right there, pushes in his own wave now, takes his recall back at 5 minutes. We know that the first dragon spawning in a second. We've still got 3 minutes to go until everything else comes up. And this nice little flay. Yeah, Nubi's going to take almost no damage here. Aftershock on. This is actually going to land up pretty well. But, okay, I take it back. Took more than almost no damage. Aftershock turned off, and Lost got 2 autos in.
Yeah, that was honestly just really nice. Sword Art got point blank, so there's no chance of actually flaying the headbutt. And then he headbutts him against the wall, into the root, then out of the root. They do that pulverize, knocking him up in the air. So pretty much maximizing the CC that they could have there to get the extra auto attacks in, to get the extra bit of damage. Then obviously Trample stacking up. You get the auto attacks done from Alistar on top of all of that. And just really nice layering of those 4 different CCs, essentially.
So those plays were really great. That attempt at a freeze from Golden Guardians was trash. Like, it was a nice attempt first by Newbie to catch the wave. Because if you catch the wave, you can hold a whole wave there, and it's a freeze, and then you deny a bunch of Golden XP as Lost and Sword Art have to recall. But the way it was managed, there's only 2 minions left, and it's right in front of the turret. This wave will always break, and it will go right back to TSM's turret. There's no way to make them overextend. You will barely deny any farm, and it's you can't set up for the Talia gank, because they can just sit under the turret anyway. It's not going to do anything bad for them. So, yeah, you can see it kind of mismanaged. Still grabs the cannon. Missed 0 cast minions. Misses 2 melees. This could have been an entire freeze, and they only denied 2 melee minions. And that means that Lost is going to be able to get almost all of the golden XP. That said, bot lane is still shoving. They've still got pressure over the lane. With it going into the turret, it means that, hey, no problem. They can just show up for the Drake instead.
Yeah, exactly. And if they were trying to freeze, it obviously was very mismanaged. If they're trying to set up a slow push to then go for the dragon, hey, then it worked out. So they do at least get something from that pressure. The wave gets pushed out. Stixday, yes, he's not denying any minions, but he doesn't lose anything because he did reset it, moves over to the dragon. They grab that for themselves. So not too bad overall, I would say. It just kind of depends what you want to prioritize. Do you want to prioritize the gold from a freeze, or going for those early stacking dragons? And in this case, I think with Kalista, it can make sense to try to move towards a quicker soul, and we'll see if they'll be able to continue that stacking going forward.
Okay, well, the stacking is going all right. Farm pretty equal across the board there. Even the junglers within 1 camp of each other. We get a replay of a top lane fight that we hadn't seen.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what does happen here. I can't really break it down because I have no idea. But it was, okay, so Flash ultimate there, looking for the spear from Spica, but Niall's able to flash out from that. So it is just a trade of flashes from those top laners. Huni obviously expending the ultimate, but that's not really a big deal for Gnar. As generally speaking, it's up anytime you do want to use it. The cooldown isn't very long. But Niall's going to be happy to have escaped that first gank, and we can see a Blaze Olive kind of cheating up towards that top side. And anytime you do see him missing, we are going to have Huni playing pretty darn safe. That being said, it looks like they did have top scuttle, so that is going to provide some safety there for Huni, who's going to be without his flash for the next couple minutes and has to be very wary of the potential gank coming through from Taliyah or Galio.
So now Sword Art, with a nice aggressive control, gets to get behind Golden Guardians here. Now, Stixxay is level 6 on Kalista, so Thresh is basically not a real target, and Thresh himself can play at this range and say, hey, if you go for any play ever, I would just Lantern Kalista and she's safe. This is ungankable with this kind of play. Newbie, I think, playing the lane really intelligently. I absolutely love Threshers who understand that, look, half the time in the lane or a third of the time in lane, I'm going to play a screen behind you, because now if I'm threatening Lantern, there's no play. And we're always safe, we're never killable. And the ability to play far up as an engaged support and far back as a disengaged support, I always really respect players who are intelligent enough to identify both those halves of the champion.
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean, that is so much of a champion like Thresh's positioning, right? As you're saying, are you putting on pressure because you know your jungler's in the area, or you're ungankable right now? Are you in a position of vulnerability when Iconic is topside, so you're sitting behind your AD? Because the added pressure you get from maybe denying a CS or two isn't worth the potential trade-off of dying there. They should have been spotted on that ward moving over towards mid, so Power of Evil going to be playing very far back. Spica is up on that top side, but Iconic should be able to grab a pretty easy Rift Herald here because they do have both push in top and mid, and he has grabbed that for himself, and now they're looking to move 3-man top with Rift Herald. We'll see if they want to try to commit to a potential dive here, but Huni is going Mega.
Awkward. Huni's Mega Gnar. The first stun is immune. They're going to find the Galio knock up all the same. Taliyah's going to cut off the retreat. He's flashless. He's going to take a lot of damage, and they're going to find first blood. Blaze Olive throws out the S for swag. Golden Guardians gets first blood.
Nicely done by Golden Guardians, but honestly, I have got to hit Huni with a bit of a question mark ping there.
Yes.
You knew that they killed the Rift Herald. You knew that the jungle was up there because of that. Mid lane is missing. It's Taliyah, Galio, Camille. He has his ultimate. You do not have your flash. And in that situation, Huni is jumping forward to try to ult Niles into the wall. I mean, yes, maybe you win a trade there, but he should have been back behind his turret in that position, not looking forward to trade, not looking forward to try to go for an engage. And again, Huni 2 days in a row giving up those easy kills on the top side. I mean, there's full information that they're going to be moving up towards the top side, looking for a potential play like this. And yeah, Huni just going in, looking to trade, and gets Hextech ultimatum. Easy ultimate from Taliyah, cutting him off behind that turret. A Blaze Olive over top with the taunt, tanks it up. Nicely executed by Golden Guardians, but Huni sure made it easy for him.
Just imagine he saved Gnarl for that dive right there. And Blaze Olive has Spellbook, not, you know, Aftershock. So you send him on a turret, you get a trade kill for that one. Yeah, definitely an overextension for Huni. That was very notable. It's a misplay for sure. Still, it is a kill. It is about 1,000 gold on the Golden Guardians side. And honestly, if you came into the season saying, hey, Golden Guardians are going to have a lead against TSM at 11 minutes, you'd be like, this is first place versus third, or sorry, 10th place versus third. I don't agree with you. But Golden Guardians have started this lock-in tournament very, very well.
They really have. They are playing as a cohesive unit, and Huni has been kind of off in his own world through 2 games, has not been coordinating well with the team, you know, in a number of different circumstances. So we have to see TSM try to improve on that. Now Power of Evil potentially in some trouble.
Hill gets taunted, 2 shoved back. He's so low, his flash is already gone. Shockwave catches the Blaze Olive, but who cares? He's going to survive it all anyway. Beautifully done.
Yeah, nice gank there. It doesn't cost them anything except a little bit of time, and they get the flash off Power of Evil. They get the ult off of Power of Evil, so no real threat there, and now they can even start to cheat up towards topside. Look at Huni. He is back by his tier 2 now, knowing that there's no ability for TSM to actually respond on the top side. They're going to get a full turret in the face of Huni here. He is already down over 30 CS. He's going to lose even more. He's going to lose the entire turret. Niles is going to be monstrously ahead of Huni here. And if I'm Iconic, I think I even just stay around and escort this into the tier 2, threaten over at the red buff, threaten a potential dive, because if a Blaze Olive starts walking up here, Huni could actually die on his tier 2, and I think you could even deny more of this farm.
When he plays it right, he could deny the charge. Actually pretty easy because the wave's in the way, but in case it was going to go through, yeah, I kind of would like to see Iconic and Niles push more to shove the wave in to make that charge more likely to happen, get the turret down to about 1/3, but end of the day, it's not going to mean too much. There was a Drake traded, well done to Spica. He went and soloed the Ocean Drake as all of the shenanigans were happening topside, so a small consolation prize, but obviously you'd take a full turret with 5 plates over that one every day of the week. 1 turret plate taken on the bot side, good job to Lost and Sword Art for their small advantage down there.
Yep, looking very good thus far, in this 2v2, but it's been pretty passive in the bot lane 2v2. Lost is doing well, and we'll see Sword Art now has Swifty Boots if he wants to try to get out on the map. He is playing Phase Rush. This is kind of for the chase down. You do your initial combo, you pop your E, and obviously have to stack up to be able to get that empowered auto. And so what Phase Rush does is you can proc it pretty much immediately, and then you just run on top of them with the increased speed to hopefully then stay up on top of that carry, smack them with the auto for the stun. Oftentimes you can even chase someone down post-flash and land that stun, so it can be pretty effective, but you are trading the upfront tankiness of Aftershock for this, so especially if you don't have your ultimate and you are playing Phase Rush Alistar, you really are paper.
Yeah, and thankfully, I guess there's no true damage on the Golden Guardians roster aside from Camille Q, so the ult's going to do okay at keeping you alive against most of it, but yeah, as soon as that time's out, it's rough stuff right here. Looking like a scuffle in the mid lane here, 14 minutes in. TSM can look for a play as Newbie's going to stack up some of those relic shield hits. The play's all going to kite back. That's a root. That's a lantern, though, and you would have loved to shockwave it if there was anything but a Thresh waiting to make that safe.
Yeah, exactly. Newbie again, right place, right time, sitting around trying to defend him. We can see that Sword Art moving back towards bot side, but 6A, well aware that he could be in trouble, is going to be able to kill off the wave and then just back it up. TSM having a lot of vision down in that lower quadrant, trying to play around Dragons, trying to play around Lost and Sword Art. They are playing a very passive game. It by no means is TSM out of this game. They are behind, and especially in that top lane, they're very far behind as they go for a kill on Power of Evil.
Beautiful. Oh, I wanted to talk about how good Rocket Belt Galio is in mid lane. You pop the active, it's a bunch of move speed. You can chase anything down you want. Spica's got to get away. He's going to try to live. Auto still coming through. Iconic's here as well. Welcome to the LCS. Welcome to the 3-0 start in your second game. Beautiful so far. Golden Guardians showing everyone what's up. And now Niles wants to dive Huni under his turret. He's got a Galio backing him up. Goodbye to Huni. This is amazing. Golden Guardians are slaughtering the opposition.
TSM is in absolute shambles. They are getting stomped by Golden Guardians here. Golden Guardians again looking so strong. No fear across the map. You talked about it, the Rocket Belt play to start it off on Power of Evil, bursting him down with Iconic. They then catch out Spica, and Stixxay flashing in to soften him up for his jungler to get that kill. Then, knowing the jungle's dead, mid lane is dead, Niles going in for the dive on Huni. He was mini Gnar, he's playing Divine Sunderer. He is not tanky whatsoever. And a Blaze Olive, the easy ult over top. After killing the mid lane, he's up in the top lane, getting another assist on a kill there. So here it is one more time. This was just really well set up. You talked about the Rocket Belt. We're going to get to see it in action here, just trying to stay in range of Power of Evil. Then as he steps forward, they know Iconic is right there on the side. Rocket Belt, flash, taunt, into the Justice Punch. The seismic shove comes over the top, and Iconic, boxing out Spica so he can not actually chase down a Blaze Olive for the kill. Then Stixxay flashes over, cannot finish off Spica, but he has him very low, and Iconic coming in with the ultimate, getting another kill while the Blaze Olive roamed up towards top. Nice shockwave, though, from Power of Evil.
Yep. Sword Art wants in. Newbie's an easy target there as well, still getting shot in, but pulled back. Beautifully done. Huni can't land the ulti either, and they all get away with it. Golden Guardians, they have made every offensive play work. They have made every defensive play work. But the next Dragon's up in a little bit, and the health bars are low.
At the very least, TSM should get the Dragon off of this. I don't know if Golden Guardians will be able to reset in time to actually contest, but it could have been so much more. Huni had Flash available for his ultimate there, and Power of Evil had a lot of the members of Golden Guardians pretty buttered up with that shockwave, but Huni with the swing and the miss and not able to connect on anyone.
Well, it's still likely to mean the Drake unless you get some kind of miracle steal. It's super unlikely, but Niles waiting around. Iconic's behind. He has Flash. They get the vision. Does he even go for the play? It's such a risk if he does. He'd be probably boxed out, goes for the hook shot, can't land that one. Over the top he goes. Galio gonna show up in a second. Sword Art on an easy target at 5 HP. Flashes away to safety, just barely. Galio comes in. Ablaze Olive on Speaker. Can't find that kill just yet either. Lost on the way out. Niles, yeah, he's got to run away. Iconic, got to be careful now as well. Boxes off the team. Lost is alone. He's got to be careful though. 2 autos will kill. Iconic's 1 auto away from dead. Flashed away to safety. Blaze Olive has to run away as well. A mismanaged fight. That bounce could have meant to kill Niles. What? Finds himself 1 as well. Slows down Huni. He's got to run though, and they somehow get away. A messy one for sure, but somehow at the end of the day, Golden Guardian still goes 1 for 0.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to go bad for Golden Guardians. It seemed that they were over chasing a bit. TSM did a good job in the initial play, pulling back. But then Niles finding the kill onto Lost, has the team behind him, able to escape after grabbing that kill. Golden Guardians just looking so good here. TSM had already pushed back Golden Guardians on the previous play. They had the reset. They try to go in for the fight. The initial hookshot misses on Spica, which kind of dissuades a lot of the chase through. You can see that the Camille is moving down towards the bottom end of the fight, trying to get Sword Art and Huni. Ablaze Olive kind of going forward a bit by himself. Stixxay was hesitant to commit to that play, knowing he didn't have his flash and didn't really want to funnel into the corridor. Then as Iconic and Ablaze Olive go over here onto Lost, it looks like Ablaze Olive maybe is going to get chased down, but Newbie again, right positioning with the Lantern, then the hookshot flash coming through from Niles, taking out Lost. And Huni cannot chase in because of the members behind him. They're trying to set up for a dive, though, onto Ablaze Olive. We'll see if Iconic can get up here. He doesn't have ult, and Ablaze Olive is looking like he's in 1v4.
Sword Art has no ult, so he can't take a turret very easily, but now Ablaze Olive is alone. He's going to taunt one. He's going to put him backwards. He's going to flash away, and he's going to make it out. He's going to make it out. He's just fine. Has to burn a summoner for it, which is certainly a cost, but still no deaths on the board for Golden Guardians. That said, they are down 2 Drakes to 1. And their turret lead is only 1. They have managed to win in champion combat. They have managed to certainly get more push overall. But TSM can still strike back. They can look to find plays. And look, if it really goes well for them, they're 7 minutes away from Mountain Soul. And that can turn a lot of a game around.
It really can, but Golden Guardians are not being inactive during this time. Yes, their mid laner had to flash, but probably going to kill mid lane turret. They got the mid lane tier 2. They already got the bot lane tier 1, and they're pushing the bot lane tier 2. So Golden Guardians got a lot during that. They do lose the top lane turret, but they get 2 of their own. They get about half the HP off the tier 2 in bot. And they have a monstrously strong Camille. They can play through split, try to continue punishing Huni, who is so far behind. It's already 2 completed items there for Niles, plus the upgraded boots. He's about 2,500 gold ahead. Even more like 2,700, 2,800 gold ahead of Huni, who's really down in the dumps this game. And you can continue to bully side lane. You can try to play 1-3-1, but Camille at this point can also just show up to a team fight, engage on someone, and one-shot one of your carries.
The attempt towards Sword Art's not going to be easy. Find some damage. Niles gets back out with a Lantern, but now it's time for Ablaze Olive to head up. But again, hard to kill an Alistar with ult. Finally gets a bit chased down, but still walks away with his life. Sword Art did not need Aftershock. Phase Rush was enough to walk away. Well done to him. No kills picked up. Ulti's burned. You can still see this game is within striking distance. Yes, it's certainly a Golden Guardians lead. And they're going to start to take away some more control. They want bot side. Looks like they want to play around the Dragon. Iconic chunk to half HP. By some nice plays out of Lost. A shove gets the bottom scuttle, but that'll despawn before the Dragon spawns.
Yeah, nicely done by Sword Art to be able to knock Camille out of her own ultimate and be able to escape with that phase rush. But, you know, the downside of that is he now doesn't have his ultimate, he doesn't have Aftershock, so he's going to be very squishy for any fights in the next minute or so. And, you know, Sword Art is the tankiest member, and they almost killed him through his ultimate. If that's anyone else from TSM, they're pretty much just dead instantly against that combo. So there's a little bit of safety for TSM while the Galio ult is down. But we'll see if they can make anything happen from that, as I do think Golden Guardians are going to want to be around to try to fight this next Dragon, unless they think that they can get, you know, an inhibitor or something major from Niles not grouping and just continuing the split. And Niles is pushing up on the top side, but doesn't have a lot of vision for himself right now because the rest of his team is focusing around this Dragon. So it really is telling me that they're trying to get ready for the fight, and given that Niles has TP, he can push pretty safely as long as he sees, you know, even 3-4 members. There's not a tremendous amount for him to worry about in any 1v1, and really even in most 1v2s, he should at the very least be able to just hookshot away.
So I'm going to point out something I find very interesting, which is the fact that Sword Art is going for Turbo Chem Tank this game and not something like, say, a Lock-It, which is the I would say, more like obvious and normal tank support item where you just buy a lock and keep your backline alive against the hard engage. But now, over the bottom side, he's going to go for a headbutt, go for some damage on a Blaze Olive. He's going to get locked up a fair bit, but stays alive. Damage on a PoE. Newbie's got to run away. He's getting pretty low, gets pulled back in. Huni, when can he find his play? His ult's already down, has to jump back over the wall, but now Sordout's going to be chased. Flash in for the Ren. Stick-Save finds that kill. Says, I can make finals too, don't worry about it. Now on the go towards the Mountain Dragon, and Golden Guardians holding control of the river, going to tie this Dragon score up.
Yeah, Sword Art, as you said, going towards that. He wants to go for all the engage tools that he can. With Golden Guardians this far ahead, though, they're up 6,000 gold. They can just go straight to the Baron. You have Kalista for the secure, and you still have your ultimates for the turn and fight. You have the ultimates from all of your top side. Talia can even ult out their opponents. If Spica comes too close here, it's an easy hookshot over the wall. Ult him up with that Camille Galio combo and look to burst down Spica. Are they going to commit to this? They just have to make sure they don't mess up on the smite.
Correctly, it's on to Stick-Save. Shockwave, beautifully done. Combo with Spica, and they get the kill on a Niles as well. Is the start of the comeback. Kill number 2 comes across. The long-range snipe comes through for Nidalee, and that gold lead has been cut in half. What else can they do with the Baron buff?
Huge steal there for Spica. I mean, that would have been the straw that broke the camel's back. That would have been game-ending damage. And now, a Blaze Olive, you are out way too far. He could be dead potentially here as well. Power People has Phase Rush to chase down.
Yeah, flashes to keep the dash from going any farther. Flash from Olive to get away from the Javelin toss of Spica, which keeps him away for a bit longer. But he's still running low, still going to get chopped down. Iconic gets a flash away from Sword Art. And just like that, TSM have brought the game down to 2.5 thousand. And they're looking for some more turrets. Mid lane tier 2 is going to fall. Top lane is going to get pushed in pretty soon as well. TSM have come alive.
Yeah, they absolutely have. That was a silly death to give up, though, from a Blaze Olive after losing the Baron. I wanted to see Golden Guardians not go for the smite fight, but to actually turn and just kill off TSM. They're so much stronger at that point in the game. Nidalee, can be burst down by the Galio Camille combo. You don't have to risk it in a situation like this. They see that Nidalee is over the wall. Why not try to go for the fight instead? A Blaze Olive is TPing in behind. Stop damage on the Baron. Look for the turn and fight. Instead, it is the Shockwave coming through. The smite is landed perfectly. The Rend smite combo did not come through whatsoever from Golden Guardians. So TSM, the mid-jungle combo there, just simply outplaying on that Baron secure. And the Shockwave not only helping them actually kill off the Baron, but it pulled Niles out of his hookshot and allowed them to burst him down immediately as well. And now Niles up very, very far here. Doesn't have support behind him. He's got to get out of there quick.
I will call out the Y-axis starts at 1,400 here, so this is not the gold has been tied up, but yes, this is still a catastrophic drop in gold lead. It's been cut down to 1/3 of what it was. This is actually more like 1/4 of what it was. So TSM well and truly can start the comeback now. Still a minute left in this Red Bull Baron, and I want to see what else they can have happen here. 4 turrets to 5. They've still got top and bot lane tier 2 to go for. Plenty of time till the next Dragon comes up, but you got to start probably putting your wards towards the bottom side of the map. The Golden Guardians ones are starting to time out down there in their side of the jungle. Looks like no one's going to get collapsed on. This could be close. Actually, Huni could spot. Oh, Huni. He thought he was going to get attacked there by Niles, but actually, if he autoed, would have stopped the recall and found another kill.
Yeah, because there was no one around there, but obviously he doesn't really know. You see someone that you're not expecting. It is just kind of a reaction-based play there from Huni, so understandable. But TSM right back in this game now with the Orianna completing multiple items at this point, and Power of Evil closing in on that Seraphs on that 3rd item for the Orianna. Lost getting very, very strong, actually ahead in itemization over Stixxay now, has a stopwatch on top. The Turbo Chem tank is done. 2 items done for your jungler. TSM are in a great position at this point, and Golden Guardians, unfortunately, had a game full of solid plays, but one critical mistake they lost so much on, giving over multiple shutdowns, giving the Baron, which led to multiple towers. You can see Camille down on this bottom side. That is the major lead still for Golden Guardians, so they're trying to make the most of it, having Niles split push. But TSM now, if Niles isn't there, is actually in a position to just straight up fight, because if both top laners are over in a side lane, TSM actually has a gold lead in the 4v4. Golden Guardians has 2,000 of a gold lead on Niles, and they're only up 1K at this point.
Yeah, it's really top jungle versus the rest of the team as far as gold is concerned here, and the rest of the team now on TSM are feeling pretty good. So do you want to see what kind of fights we are going to have? Right now, the ward coverage is better for TSM. You can see a bunch of wards all around the pit itself. Only a few of these can be swept easily. Control ward's down there as well. Iconic could be spotted. Sword Art is seen on the ward. Got to be careful on this one. He's going to kick in Niles. Could be a lot of damage here. Cut down to half. Niles going to take the Javelin as well. They're going to stay alive. Scuttle going to be an easy claim. It should be at least. They missed a couple of shots. Pull it back in. Get the claim. Was a little close. Almost got grabbed by Power of Evil, but it does mean some guaranteed vision on the Golden Guardian side. That said, pit's more opened up. You can still take it from the side, and it's not going to be that big of a deal.
Pretty big win, though,
Mountain Rift
for Golden Guardians, because they got the ult and the ignite off Alistar, and they didn't commit anything, right? You know, that was just a hook shot, forcing out that ultimate. So Sword Art is going to be so squishy without that, and we'll see if they can make the most of this. Huni now TPing in and join the fight.
Huni built up the entire rage bar and pops in. This is ideal timing. Well done to TSM. Well done to Huni to build the bar up, then TP in. Going to be claimed. Dragon number 3. Soul point for TSM. The gold difference only 1,000. Niles comes in, looks for the engage, dives in on a PoE. Zonius keeps him alive. Sword Art in the front line, but he is squishy. Shockwave catches one. They're going to get a shutdown and a Power of Evil, though, and it's time for the chase. Niles dives in, can't find Lost, but he may just lose his life, and he does. Sword Art shows up for the combo. Trade it back, though. Niles, sorry, Iconic on a triple kill, and he's looking for number 4. Lost. He's going to be his health bar. That's going to be the health running low. He's trying to find the crit. Can't get it yet. He's stuck under his turret. Hook's a bit wide. They're going to shove in some waves. What's the play going to be? Baron in 40 seconds. That's going to be a hard one to set up for. A 3-for-1 as the trade for Dragon.
Yeah, it is pretty good for Golden Guardians on the back end of that play, picking up a lot of kills there, but not quite nailing the execution as Niles not able to land on a few of those combos. The initial engage here over on the Power of Evil, but Niles can't get his ultimate off in time. And so does take quite a bit of damage against the wall there. Sword Art was doing a good job zoning with Huni. They know that the Mega Gnar is active, and just with the tail end of that Rage Bar, Huni's able to scoop Niles into the wall. A good Zonia has blocked the initial bits of damage coming through, but Niles able to get forward on top of Power of Evil. Iconic had the flip in place, and then Niles going into the back line, but a little bit of a solo mission and takes a tremendous amount of damage there. Sword Art flashing in to help finish him off, making sure they knock down that Camille. And the fact that Lost got out did mean that TSM didn't really end up losing more than just the couple kills, and now are the ones starting the Baron for themselves. Blaze Olive is down on the bottom side. I don't even think that they're aware of this.
This is pretty beautiful. There's pings going on. They're like, hey, this is looking a little fishy. Niles is like, wait a second, we got to pull the TP. We got to get everyone in here. Okay, it's at 1,500. Niles going to dive in for some damage. Can there be a smite steal? No, it's going to go over to Spica. Is that enough for TSM to win the fight? Lost kites away, jumps over the wall. Poor Sword Art's going to be left alone, but you will trade Alistar for Baron every single time, and there's not going to be a chase down. A great call for TSM, a solid escape, and the gold still stays at 1,600 apart.
Really decisive stuff there from TSM. They saw that Blaze Olive was down on that bottom side, and even though Golden Guardians did sniff it out, it was too little too late. By the time they got eyes on the Baron, it was already down to 1,400 HP. One auto from Jhin, the Q smite from Nidalee, it's gone from that health at this point in the game, so there's not really any chance of the steal, and because of the peeling there from Sword Art, they couldn't actually get any chase down and kill. So Golden Guardians is trying to push now, but Sword Art is respawning, and that's going to mean they will have to back it up. And they're going to have this Baron, till right up when that next dragon spawns, and that could mean Soul for them, because they should have the run of the map during this Baron.
A bit of vision given away. Iconic gets back into not combat. Puts the ulti down just to be safe. He was going to be fine with all the move speed you get out of Talia ult. I think he was never going to get chased down. But in case the TP move speed meant PoE go for the shockwave, takes the safer play. Realistically, in 2 minutes, there's not going to be a fight anyway, so the Weaver's wall is not terrible.
Oh, Niles might get caught.
Getting a little chased. If he's paying some level attention, he can still hook shot away. Kind of goes near the wall. He's far enough away that, oh no, he's not far enough away. What a perfect pulverize. Niles goes down the Hex Splash. He was not expecting that part of it. Beautifully done by Sword Art to set up that kill. Extra gold in the pocket to TSM are sieging again.
Beautifully done by Sword Art, as you say. Really nicely timed, but you have to say, Niles knew that people were in the area, had no vision in his jungle, no one from his team behind him, and despite a fantastic start to the game for Niles, they built up a big advantage for him. He hasn't really been effective with that lead, hasn't been able to turn it into anything for the team. And TSM now feels like they're starting to run away with this game. It turned on a dime at that Baron, Spica with the huge steal, but from there, TSM have played a strong game, and they're going to engage on Stixxay.
Engage. Stixxay's going to go down for this one almost certainly. Taunt comes across, a flash to safety. Sword Art going to tank up with the ultimate, gets pulled back with a lot. The rend comes through for not anything more. Stixxay has ulti, but Newbie burns the flash all the same.
Niles
that is a long cooldown gone, and now it's the TP flank. Spica gonna spot it out. Niles, yep, he's hatched a couple of wards. But can he keep TSM busy? Can there be some kind of re-engage? Keep in mind, BlazeOlive has ultimate. And if the rest of the team can join up, this would be a huge fight. But also, Mountain Soul is up in 27 seconds. Golden Guardians, they're going to let TSM recall away. I think TSM played enough with Fog that they couldn't know where they were anymore. And Niles couldn't set up that play. So they're going to wait for everyone to heal right back up. And it's going to be a climactic battle as Baron times out to play for this Mountain Soul.
Yeah, Niles, I think, was hoping that they were going to overstay and try to go for that mid-inhib or something. Then he could have got something out of the TP. But with TSM retreating as a 5-man squad, even if a BlazeOlive comes in over top, the rest of the Golden Guardian squad would never really be able to catch up, it didn't feel like. And so TSM has gotten that reset, are over here on this dragon. This is Soul, as you said, if they can land it. A BlazeOlive trying to sneak in around behind, but Golden Guardians have got to go pretty soon. TSM are just focusing the dragon.
Okay, nicely done by the front line. Once again, Ulti's coming over the top. Niles going to have to kite away. Blue team has taken the dragon. Good job to Iconic. Shotgun.
Mega.
Niles, top lane is going to get put low. Hooney's in front. Has to jump away. Sword Art once again has the ulti. Weaver's Wall comes up. Separates the team into a 3 versus 5. But is it going to be enough? A BlazeOlive can't find the target. Looking for damage on a Hooney. Not going to be enough. Down goes the Galio. A dragon for 1. TSM will take that fight. And keep in mind, bottom inhibitor is gone. So a 5v4 siege can end the game. They're trying to run, trying to heal up off the minion wave. But Iconic, by staying for the chickens, has to flash to get away from what could have been a re-engage. It's time for Golden Guardians to keep running away, to keep catching the waves, but Spica's on the chase. He wants a bit more, gets pulled in. It's not going to be enough. It's going to be Iconic forced to run away again, slowed down by Hooney, and TSM can keep the siege going. Superminions come into the bottom lane, a wave in the front as well. They try to wave clear, but one turret's going to go down. A BlazeOlive, 22 seconds away still. TSM will lose the wave, but they will claim one turret, they will claim the mid-inhibitor, and they are still on Mountain Soul point with Baron at 140.
A good chase and punish from TSM. They didn't get Soul, as you say, but they are able to pick up some gold and really, really close now to ending this game. One more fight with only the 1 Nexus Tower alive with 2 inhibitors down, and the game is pretty much done. Power of Evil, has to be said, did a great job, though, in that 5v5 around Dragon. He got split off from the rest of the team. It was him and Sword Art on that bottom side, and he kited away, was able to land a big shockwave and got so much damage out onto multiple members of Golden Guardians, really dissuading them from being able to chase forward. And it was good positioning from TSM to not really allow Stixxay to get very involved in that fight. You know, Stixxay is on his 3 items. He has a lot of farm, but he was really having a ton of trouble actually accessing anyone to auto.
Yeah, and that's the tough part here right now is that, you know, Stixxay is a short-range champion, and he needs to be able to get the damage across, and TSM with the gold lead, with the map control here as well, minions flooding into middle and bottom. Sure, Golden Guardians get some more golden XP that way because they can just catch the waves and they'll bounce back and they can go for it again. TSM will probably just win the game off the Baron spawning in 30 seconds. It seems so likely for them there. Hooney gonna zone them out. BlazeOlive trying to keep up in his income right now. Sword Art just feels so safe to walk up, go for big wards. Iconic could get a shove, but Sword Art goes the other way around, finds the pulverize all the same. Zonya's burned, but this could be enough of the engage that they want to go for it. Nice shotgun comes across, Sword Art getting attacked a lot. The rend is stacking up, but Stixxay can't stay any longer. There's still so much risk out there. Now 2 ultis are gone. Hard engage comes in. This will be a kill on Alistar. This is a 5v4, but they can't find anything else. That was every ult but Weaver's Wall burned, and now they can start looking for Stixxay. More damage comes across. The BlazeOlive very, very low. They have to take all the shots, and be careful now. Hooney, low on Gnar energy, has to wait for a while. Niles can't find his way in. Be careful of the 4 shot, putting him down to half HP. More damage onto a Stixxay as well, and the bot lane is stacking up. Baron is alive, but be careful because a lot of this base will die to just the minions.
Yeah, Niles just barely not able to connect on a lot of these hook shots, and Power of Evil has TP'd back. There's low health bars on a number of the members here from Golden Guardians. TSM is down 1 member, but Golden Guardians basically have to rush this because supers are going to be pushing, and TSM, if they land a shockwave, which is going to be up in a couple seconds, it could be their Baron, it could be their fight.
Stixxay needs to free hit. They need to find Niles to get away into this fight. They're going to look for the fight pretty soon. Hooney has Mega Gnar there. They're going to go for the play. What a perfect ultimate! Hooney has arrived, and he has shut down the team fight. Baron's going to heal up. Shockwave catches 2. TSM is back, baby, and Hooney is the reason why. Stixxay's going to go down. He can't fight for this one. The Bud Light Ace and TSM, the Faithfuls, will be rewarded for a victory here. Knocked down so heavily, but they will shove it to the base, and they will claim their first victory of LCS Lock-In. Baron Steel after Baron Steel. Spica is a smite god, and Huni, it took him a while to scale, but he found the team-winning ulti, and the Nexus will fall, and TSM will win.
Yeah, beautiful Meganar there from Huni, ulting Niles out of his hook shot, immediately stunned as he tried to come out of that Baron pit, tried to turn for the fight. TSM, they surely had to work for it, as Golden Guardians had an incredible first 20 minutes of the game. But that hero Baron Steel, for me from Spica, really changed this one. It felt like so much about the mid-jungle duo here from TSM. The playmaking there, combining for that Shockwave plus Q Smite coming out of the Nidalee, stealing that Baron away, felt like the turning point of the game. And those two were massive in the team fights as well. And you can also see that wasn't the most impressive scoreline. Swordart did have some really nice plays, catching Niles in the bottom lane, sacrificing himself in a number of different scenarios to actually allow his carries to escape to help finish off kills. Some pretty selfless play from him there. TSM going to be happy to have come away with the win. Still a lot of work to do to shape up in what was expected to be a landslide victory for them, but ended up being a really tightly contested game.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing, is now you got to think about what does the game mean overall, what's it going to mean for the players and their thoughts, because as you mentioned, right, TSM coming into the week, you're like, okay, Hundred Thieves is a close game. You know, their fans give them the edge, probably, sure, but like that's one where you can lose and say, okay, yeah, they're a very good team, no problem. But Golden Guardians is the team you should come in and be like, we just grabbed Sword Art, like PoE is the best understudy for prediction we could have gotten, like we should be clapping, like this should be free, and it was a lucky win. I say luck, it wasn't RNG, it was a good Shockwave Smite combo, sure, but like, wow, you needed heroics to have a chance at winning that game because you were getting outplayed for 23 minutes straight. You came away in the end, you know, Huni finally found a good ulti at the end to help stuff some of the re-engage as well, good stuff, but like, man, that was such a hard play to go for. On the other side though, honestly, if you're a Golden Guardians fan, you should be happy. They complete smash CLG, and they honestly looked good against TSM. Yes, they got screwed in the Baron play. They could have played it more cleanly, absolutely. Niles overstated some silence a few times, as you had called out, Azael. Agree with that one as well, right? There were misplays, but like, this is the second game of pro play for 3 of the players, and I mean, that still looks really good. If it's your second game ever, for all those guys, especially Iconic, I think he was the most blameless of the squad. Like, look, overall, pretty well played to this squad. I think they are very, very good, and I can honestly see this team. People were expecting 10th. I don't think 10th for Golden Guardians. Get the rest of their whole rosters, give them a bit of practice. Golden Guardians may be a playoff team already. Like, they look good.
They really do. I mean, it's a disappointing loss given the state of the game. But if you look at what your expectations were coming into these first 2 games, they won their first game. They were competitive with TSM in their second game. And so a great start from Golden Guardians. But TSM do come away with the win, and rightfully so, off the heroics there. And on the other side, we'll hear from TSM's mid laner, Power of Evil. Don't go anywhere.